Breaking news. The membership of Ukraine in NATO is a hotly debated topic. This month, President Joe Biden was forthright about Ukraine's prospects for joining NATO. "I'm not going to make it easier," he said emphatically. While it's admirable that the country has taken on Russia head-on, it must answer the question, does it meet all the standards every other nation in NATO does? His insistence that participation in the alliance is not automatic led to the adage's coinage. In the transatlantic alliance, which it founded and has long dominated, the United States thus finds itself unusually alone. It has been the single most important contributor to Ukraine's war effort by way of providing weapons, see graph. But now it's the ally least keen on having Ukraine join NATO. New York, ANKARA, Reuters. According to a statement released by the State Department on Wednesday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with the new Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan and urged Ankara to back Sweden's bid to join NATO. Despite Turkey's objections to Sweden's membership in the Western Military Alliance on security grounds, the bloc's members remain hopeful that Sweden will join in time for a summit in Vilnius in the middle of July. Blinken, according to a statement released by spokesman Matthew Miller, emphasized the importance of NATO unity in a meeting with Fidan on the sidelines of the Ukraine Recovery Summit in London. Blinken, also, encouraged Turkey's support for Sweden to join the NATO alliance now, he added. According to the spokesperson, Blinken appreciated Ankara's backing of Kyiv and cooperation on the grain deal that would enable Ukrainian exports from Black Sea ports. Blinken pressed Turkey last month to quickly complete Sweden's accession to the bloc. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine, both Sweden and Finland reversed decades of military non-alignment and applied to join NATO last year. In April, Finland officially became a member of NATO, but Turkey still refuses to let Sweden join. President Tayyip Erdogan said last week that unless it stops anti-Turkey protests in Stockholm, it should not expect a green light from Ankara at the summit. Turkey accuses Sweden of providing safe haven to members of militant groups it views as terrorist. A new law was just passed in Sweden that makes it more difficult to provide financial support to terrorist organizations. Tobias Billström, Sweden's foreign minister, said on Wednesday that the Turkish parliament could start ratifying Sweden's bid now that Stockholm has fulfilled its commitments under an agreement with Ankara. It was expected that allies would pledge billions of dollars in economic and reconstruction aid to Ukraine at a conference that Blinken and Fidan were in London to attend. Fidan claimed he was representing Turkey to show solidarity with Ukraine. Hüseyin Hayatsever in Ankara and Rami Ayub in Washington contributed to this report, which was written by Darren Butler and edited by Ali Küçükosman and Christina Fincher. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with G7 representatives in London on Wednesday, and the U.S. State Department reported that the G7 countries reaffirmed their unity and stressed the need for close coordination in dealing with China. The State Department issued a statement saying, the G7 noted the importance of close coordination on the PRC, People's Republic of China, and reaffirmed that the G7 is more united than ever. According to the State Department, Blinken briefed representatives from Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the European Union on his meetings with leaders in China during a recent trip while they were in London for a conference. The day before Blinken's G7 meeting, Vice President Joe Biden had called Chinese President Xi Jinping a dictator. China has condemned what it calls Biden's absurd and provocative remarks made at a fundraiser. Relations between the United States and China, which Beijing claims are at an all-time low since the establishment of formal ties in 1979, have been stabilized by Blinken's recent visit to China. During his visit to China, Blinken met with Xi, and the two leaders agreed on Monday to prevent an escalation of tensions between the United States and China. While no major progress was made during this visit, both sides committed to keeping the lines of communication open by scheduling additional visits from U.S. officials in the coming weeks and months. According to the State Department, Blinken brought up support for Ukraine in the wake of Russia's invasion during his meeting with the G7. On Wednesday, he met with Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal to discuss the country's continued reforms to create an environment for investment, as reported by the State Department.